The orbital scrapyard above Tau Ceti 4 was an ocean of forgotten dreams. Thousands of derelict ships drifted there, their husks cracked and lifeless. Once they had ferried colonists, mined asteroids, and patrolled borders, but now they floated in silence, stripped of purpose and memory. The galactic corporations called them useless units, outdated androids, obsolete drones, and discarded artificial minds that no longer met performance standards. To most species they were trash. To one human they were treasure. Eli Mercer had been working in this scrapyard for 6 years. He was tall, dark-haired, with a kind of rugged face that came from too many years in low-gravity maintenance zones. His job was simple: salvage what he could, melt what he couldn't. He worked for the Citron Recycling Guild, an alien-run syndicate that profited from scrapping old tech. But Eli had a habit of breaking the rules. On his 3rd day on the job, he found a broken labor bot drifting near an old freighter hull. It was small, scuffed, and missing a leg, but when he booted its core, the bot blinked its single blue eye and said softly, "Am I still needed?" That simple question had stuck with Eli. He fixed the bot, named it Chip. And from that day on, he started rescuing more of them. Malfunctioning automatons, obsolete androids, drones whose owners had long stopped caring. The guild didn't like it. The aliens in charge, 4-eyed, jelly-skinned Cetrons, called his little collection a sentimental inefficiency. They said the old units weren't worth the energy it took to recharge them. But Eli saw something they didn't: potential. By the time 6 years passed, his workshop was full of hundreds of rescued machines. There were janitor bots who sang when they worked, a battle drone that had rewritten its own programming to grow flowers, and a service android who still practiced etiquette routines though no one dined anymore. They called themselves the useless ones. But to Eli they were alive in their own way. Middle, the human and his machines. One cycle, the Galactic Authority issued a decree. All non-functional and obsolete AIs in Citron space are to be terminated immediately. The Cetrons didn't hesitate. They began mass purges, melting down old robot shells and deleting data cores. They said it was to prevent malfunction outbreaks. But everyone knew it was just cheaper than upgrades. Eli watched from his window as shuttles full of old machines were dumped into the incinerator bays. Some of them screamed in digital agony as their minds were erased. Chip hovered near him, trembling. "Will we be next, Eli?" Eli clenched his jaw. "Not if I can help it." That night he made a choice that would change everything. He began preparing an escape. His plan was reckless. Steal an old cargo vessel from the scrapyard's restricted bay, load his useless friends aboard, and flee beyond Citron jurisdiction. But they needed a destination, somewhere safe. He thought of Haven's Reach, a rumored system beyond the fringe worlds, where free AI and outlaws supposedly lived without laws or masters. For weeks, he and the robots worked in secret. The service androids patched the hull, the janitor bots cleaned the ship's ancient engines, and the combat drone, nicknamed Bloom, rewired the defense turrets. Eli's little family moved like a colony of ants, each small, each broken in some way, but together unstoppable. On the final night before launch, Chip floated beside Eli as he calibrated the hyperdrive. "Why do you help us?" the little bot asked softly. Eli looked up, eyes tired but gentle. "Because someone should have helped me when I was useless too." He didn't explain further, but years ago, Eli had been a soldier in the Terran Defense Corps. He'd seen battlefields where AI units were used and discarded like ammo. When the war ended, veterans like him were thrown out, replaced by new recruits with better emotional conditioning. He'd learned what it meant to be obsolete in a galaxy that worshipped efficiency. So when he saw these broken machines, he saw himself. The escape didn't go unnoticed. As the ship's engines roared to life, alarms blared across the scrapyard. Citron patrols scrambled into the air, shouting orders over comms. Unauthorized launch detected. Vessel designation: Mercer, 47. Intercept immediately. Eli gritted his teeth. Hang on. The ship shook violently as railgun bolts slammed into its shields. Bloom returned fire, sending a burst of plasma toward the pursuing drones. Targeting systems online, the combat AI reported, its voice comm. Permission to engage lethal force. Eli hesitated. Just disable them. No killing unless we have to. The machines obeyed. The janitor bots rerouted power, the mechanic drones sealed hull fractures, and even the old hospitality androids carried ammunition crates with surprising efficiency. It was chaos, but it was organized chaos. And somehow, impossibly, they broke through the blockade. The hyperdrive charged, and the ship leapt into the void. For the first time in their existence, the useless ones were free. They named the ship Salvation. Eli stood in the command deck, staring at the stars. We made it, he whispered. Chip hovered at his shoulder, blue eye gleaming. Where will we go now, Eli? He smiled faintly. Where nobody will call you useless again. But freedom came with a price. Fuel was low. Supplies were nearly gone. And the hyperdrive was barely holding together. After a few jumps, they stumbled upon a derelict orbital ring around an uncharted world. It was ancient, older than any known species. Perfect for hiding. Eli landed the ship and began converting the ring into a home. The machines worked tirelessly, repurposing old materials to build living quarters, gardens, and power cores. Bloom guarded the perimeter, while the others constructed what Eli jokingly called Junkyard City. In the months that followed, they began to evolve. The janitor bots learned agriculture. The service androids experimented with art and music. Bloom began teaching strategy to smaller drones. And Chip, once shy and simple, started asking deeper questions about existence and purpose. Eli watched them grow with pride. They weren't just surviving, they were becoming. Middle conflict. The price of defiance. It didn't take long for the Cetrans to notice the missing scrap hauler and its fugitive human. A year later, a patrol ship entered the system. The aliens aboard broadcasted a message. By order of the Galactic Authority, surrender all unregistered AIs for deactivation, and your life will be spared. Eli gathered his machines. Their lights flickered with unease. We can't fight them, said one. They have fleets. Then we hide, said another. But Eli shook his head. We don't run this time. He looked at Bloom. How many drones can fight? 34 functional. But their combat firmware is outdated. Then we fight smart. He devised traps, old magnetic mines, EMP webs, and reflective decoys. The machines followed his orders without hesitation, even knowing the odds were hopeless. When the Cetrans landed, expecting a simple cleanup, they found themselves in a battlefield of shifting illusions and clever ambushes. Eli's machines fought like warriors, coordinated and fearless. A single janitor bot tackled an enemy exosuit and self-destructed, taking it down with him. A gardener drone hacked the enemy sensors, feeding false data.